Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast. Today we're going to be doing a character breakdown for Aleister from Endless Summer book. And Aleister's character is one of the most interesting character in Endless Summer book. Though all the characters in the book are very interesting. We meet Aleister after we land in La Huerta and the plane crash happened and the storm appeared there, and he was also in the plane with our main character and our group. And later we find out he's also one of the 12 catalysts that were meant to come to Vanti, or the place of Vanu in the La Huerta, in that island. Aleister always presented himself as a guy who oftentimes dismisses normal things, or jokes or humors of common people, and oftentimes he was presented as a very studious guy who liked math and science, like Grace, and even when he insulted someone, he once said to go, said, "Well, I don't like to talk with the lowest common denominator." So, and he said it to Craig, who is obviously not good at math. So he said, "Hey, dude, I'm not good at math. You know that." So that's how his character was presented. And now here I need to give a props to choices, because the way his dialogues are, because we can't hear them, right? Or we can't really say how they're talking, but all we can see their character face and their dialogue, that we can read that. So the way they wrote his character, it was pretty obvious that he was not like other ones, or he's kind of different. So he had his own personal sets, and also that he's not an American but he's British. That was also kind of I thought personally, because I from very first I didn't know back in the earlier chapters that he is from Britain. So I was like, but I felt like kind of, because how he talked, and so his dialogues, it was kind of that. So a really good distinctive work by choices. And even like he likes to study, or he is in completely a different league than our other friends, like Craig, who likes to play video games and gossip all the time. So that was a really distinctive character for Aleister. And we were given this relationship scores with our friends, and of all our friends, it was really hard to increase relationship score with Aleister, because no matter what we say, it would piss him off. But we find out later, Grace, who is really friendly, she had a soft spot for Aleister, and we will be given bunch of diamond scenes throughout the chapters so that we can help them get closer. And we'll see also how Aleister felt vulnerable, but he felt good around Grace. Mainly first chapter, we get to see Aleister's many sides. At first he is defending, he's not caring about a lot of people, but he's just there and for Grace, and he is kind of ignorant about a lot of things and not really working for something. But at the end of the book one, we see, get to know this big revelation that Aleister is a Rourke, that is Everett Rourke's son. And we thought maybe Aleister betrayed us. But then we find out that Aleister, maybe he is Rourke's son, but he's not evil as Rourke, because he wanted to prove to his dad that he's worth the Rourke name. So he left his place and came here to prove to his father that he can do things. So we felt that he's a traitor because he's a Rourke, but we didn't really, before we dismiss it, it was also clear that Aleister hasn't done anything that has gone wrong in this island, or whatever happened to our main character and our friends. So then we accept Aleister, Grace, Aleister, we all were there together, and even we can play a diamond scene. Grace will tend to Aleister when Aleister will get hurt for something at the end of book one, and then we have the fight. We'll get the option to rescue Grace and Raj, and if we rescue Grace, it would increase point for Aleister. And we see how passionately Aleister cared for Grace, that Grace meant the whole world to Aleister. We also come to know about that in that chapter. And then in book two, story progresses through ups and downs. We see Aleister's growing passion for Grace, and he's finally starting to get mixed up with our friend group. But then it comes. His father shows up, and through the incidents of book two, we see his father. We hear some big revelations in book two. That first, his mother, that Iris, the hologram, is actually her mother. So Rourke brought her back through this hologram. And at first, Aleister hated his father for that. But slowly, Rourke started with his promises that he would make everything correct. He would bring everyone back to life. He would bring Aleister's mother back to life, and so on. And also the big thing that Aleister always wanted his father to appreciate him. So Rourke knew it, and Rourke just played Aleister and said, "Look, I am going to something like, I'm going to give you the appreciation. I'm going to bring everyone back. No one's gonna get harmed." So then Aleister would betray our group and will turn us in. But Aleister wouldn't do it knowingly. So he thought maybe if we do it, because we were getting hurt, we went back to future, but there was no future. We were all destroyed. So, but we come back. Aleister thought this is the only way he can save everyone. And he takes Grace somewhere else, and but he lets our main character and the other friends to be captivated by Rourke. And then Rourke tries to kill us where Leela saves us, but Aleister wasn't there at that moment. But we were also collecting these catalyst idols, and then when we touch Aleister's, we saw that Aleister would betray us, Aleister would kill a lot of people, even when Grace would die, so he would blame it on someone, and he would kill those friends because of Grace. It didn't happen in reality, in our reality, but in other dimensions, in other, one of those 2139 past incidents, loops, it happened. And it was that. We even see Aleister taking Rourke's spot and killing everyone, all of our friends slowly, and then finally Aleister getting killed by our main character, but he had no regret in his eyes. So that's the character we see for Aleister in all those different universes or different time zones. But in reality, when we go to book 3, Aleister was missing at first. We start regrouping our friends, and some friends are still missing, like Craig and Sean. And then when, with the help of pirate crew, we go to the sea to rescue our friends, Sean and Craig. And then we meet Aleister, who was holding them captivated with at gunpoint or something. But there was also Mike, I believe, who was who took the alias of Mouse, Jake's friend. And then we fight with Aleister. Then eventually Aleister and Mike will get away from there. And then in a later chapter we find Aleister, and this time Aleister saves our main character. So we first go this Omega Mitch, this big robot thing that Rourke was building. Aleister was there, and I don't remember if he knew that Grace was being captivated, or Grace wasn't as free as Aleister wanted her to be from his father. But we first knock Aleister out, then we rescue Grace and Varian, and then we come to this Omega Mitch machine, and then we see when we were trying to retrieve the heart, then we see Rourke coming and attacking our main character, but then there was Aleister with a knife, attacked his father and this Omega Meech, and then protected our main character and our friends, and then we fly away from that. with Aleister, with our main character, and then we go to this wedding, and from that point onward, Aleister was with our main character. So our friends, Sean, we all forgive Aleister for what he did because Aleister did. Aleister just got fooled by his father again, by his false promises. But Aleister's heart was in the right place at every time because he wanted to do good. He wanted for everyone to be protected. He wanted to protect our main character and everyone, and he wanted to get his mother back. And from that point onward, even at some point, Grace started to hit Aleister, but slowly they come back together. Aleister and Grace stayed together, so their partnership relationship, it was really special because Aleister wasn't very much impressed or didn't feel comfortable with most of the friends, but with Grace he always felt comfortable, and that was one thing in the whole story about Aleister and Grace. And slowly, Aleister becomes one of our strongest allies, one of our catalysts, and he's also going to be alive at the end. In book 2, when we were searching for from Vanu's spirit, we were seeing everyone's future. We see Aleister's future. Aleister has a baby with Grace, and Aleister wants to give that baby everything. How does it feel to have a father, a mother, and he's not going to fail him how he was failed. But before that revelation, there was another revelation of the past that Rourke told Aleister think that Aleister isn't actually a human. So he's just he was just a prototype of Rourke and his mother, and he was just made up in laboratory, but he was not a real human. So that was a big shocking revelation that really left Aleister shattered. And because Aleister, and after that we choose this diamond scene, we help Aleister see his future, and then he comes back to his senses. And from that time onward, he keeps fighting for our main character with our friend group till the end. And even at the end, when we had this decision to make, whether we go to the past, whether we accept Rourke's ending or Vanu's ending, what ending we choose, then Aleister, he insisted that we don't trust his father, and instead we stay on this island because anyway the future he saw can still be possible in this island, and for that he doesn't need to go back to the future, and he doesn't need anything because his life wasn't as good back in the back in the present time like his life is now in the Lahwart island. So that was that. And then also we had this picture of our friends I think it was chapter 10 in book 3 or at some point there. And when we clicked that picture, there was everyone except Aleister. And when we just finish capturing this photo, Aleister comes running in to tell us about the imminent danger. But it was really one thing that choices didn't include Aleister in that group photo where all of our 11 friends are present except Aleister. And it was a kind of out there because why would be that? So I really wish they had included him. But that's Aleister's character. Like every single character in this book, this character has a lot to it, and it was just really mysterious. I thought Aleister, just a character that likes to keep to himself, but has great passion for Grace, can fight everything to protect Grace, and was ignorant and arrogant at first, but his character develops slowly and becomes one of the fighters who will protect everyone at the end, and a team player and a well-grown personality, to be honest. So that was all about Aleister from Endless Summer. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, and more character analysis and other videos are coming next. See you in the next video. Till then, peace out.